Hi there, my name is Robin and welcome back to Only the Best Fantasy Novels. Today I'm going to talk about Fated by Benedict Jacka, which is the first book of the Alex Verus series, which is actually one of my most anticipated series to read this year. Um, Last year I had an absolute blast reading Benedict Jacka's novel An Inheritance of Magic, which is the first of his Stephen Oakwood series. And that book was my favorite book of 2023, actually. So to say that this series is highly anticipated would be an understatement of sorts. Uh, but yeah, um, this series, it's actually been on my radar for quite a long time. It's a bit tragic that I'm only just now getting to it, because since I first read Dresden Files and I got all hooked on it, I like most people, I immediately started looking for more, and Benedict Jacka's Alex Verus is one of the many series that came up. So since then it's been on my TBR, and if it wasn't for that book absolutely flooring me last year, I don't think I would have gotten to it this soon. But yeah, Fated by Benedict Jacka. What's it about? Um, so this is the first novel in the Alex Verus series. We're introduced to Alex, who is a shopkeeper in Camden, England. Camden, well, London, England, and he becomes embroiled in a race between multiple factions of the magical world to gain possession of a recently discovered artifact that would grant immense power to whoever wields it. Um, it seems it's a bit strange. It seems like a clear cut. It seems like a bit too convenient for Alex to become involved in this story, but as it progresses, we find out why he's the one that got roped into it. Long story short, he's a patsy. Um, Everyone else who heard about the situation cut and run and kind of left him out to dry. Um, but yeah, more on that later. I do have to address one of the first key things about this book. Unfortunately, it's not something I liked, and it's that the book barely opens and you're absolutely bombarded by info dumps. It's really jarring. It's not great. Um, it feels like you barely started reading and you just get like this massive essay on the way this world is, how the structure, how people are aligned, who the people are, the skills, the too much world building, too fast. It wasn't handled well. It really wasn't. But once you get past that initial hurdle, and I think that is the part that will make or break this book for most readers. Once you get past it, you get the story that you expect from most urban fantasy today, which is pretty much just action-packed kind of fun romp. Um, that is what the book becomes. Thankfully, that is what I signed up for, and that is what I eventually got. So I really can't complain. But that beginning with all the info dump, good lord, it's probably one of the worst handled cases I've ever seen. It's bad. It's pretty bad. Um, but yeah, thankfully once you get past that, we get a really fun book, a really enjoyable book. Um, Alex is a fun character to read about. I've long thought that with these urban fantasy novels, the likability of the main character is kind of like the only selling point of the novels, because they're all pretty generic. They all follow like the same. They don't rock the boat too much, so it kind of all hinges on the main character. I mean, there's going to be like there's going to be some variations, yeah, but not enough to really hook you. It it very much boils down to the main character. Thankfully, Alex Verus is a great character to read about. So far in this first outing, at least. Naturally, one of his key selling points is his power. He has a slightly, as is pretty much always the case, he has like a slight a power that's kind of considered weak, but he uses it creatively, he uses it effectively, and that makes a very fascinating reading, because those kinds of scenarios are always kind of cooler to read about than a guy than just a straight up power, not just a guy who's straight up control power in your face. And we do see a lot of creativity, a lot of inventiveness with Alex in the way he uses his powers, and in the way he augments and handles situations. It's the big, I think that more than anything is the big hook for the book, in terms of like the adventures that happen. It's just the way how he handles situations that really shine. That really, and of course he's a great character to read about. But yeah, there's not too much I can discuss about this book without kind of giving away a lot of it. Those are the two key points I kind of I kind of wanted to talk about, just how terrible the info dump was at the start, but thankfully it's just a rocky start. It gets better as the book it gets better after like the first 30 or 40 pages, so it's not like a really terrible thing. It's just a bit jarring to get past, and yeah, a great character, a character with a lot of promise. At least I do like the way he's handled, and I do like his skill set, and based on this book, the way in which his skill set is deployed, it's fascinating enough that I enjoyed this book. I'm not like super crazy about it, but I did enjoy it. It was a great way to spend a few hours. I did enjoy it enough that I will be reading on for sure, probably at least a few more. But yeah, great but rocky start to what seems to be like a pretty good series, and based on my experience with Benedict Jacka, both in this book and his other book, I have to say I think I'll recommend it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Fated by Benedict Jacka, the first book of his Alex Verus series. Have you guys read this before? Well, have you read past the first book? What are your thoughts on the series as a whole? Drop a comment, let me know. And as always, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you for watching.